Good morning, students. Welcome to Class 7 English. Today, we are going to discuss the famous poem written by Rabindranath Tagore, Where the Mind is Without Fear. Through this poem, the Rabindranath Tagore prays for the world without fear, one held together by freedom. Originally, it is written in Bangla and later on it was translated into English by Tagore himself. Let's read the poem first. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thoughts and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Now, let's talk about the poem. Where the Mind is Without Fear is written by Rabindranath Tagore. It is one of the vastly read and discussed poems of Rabindranath Tagore. It was originally composed in Bengali in 1900 under the title 7.Ratna, means prayer. In 1911, Tagore translated the poem into English and that appeared as poem 35 in the Nobel winning anthology Gitanjali, which was published in 1912. When the poem was written, India was under the British rule and people were waiting to get freedom. The poem is written in the form of a prayer to the God, the Almighty, for a true freedom for his country. And thus, Tagore reveals his own concept of freedom throughout the poem. Let's go with the paraphrase of the poem. The first line, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. In the very first line, the poet prays to the Almighty that his countrymen should be free from any fear of oppression or forced compulsion. He wishes that everyone in his country has his head held high in dignity. In other words, according to him, in a truly free country, every person should be fearless and should have a sense of self dignity. The second line, where knowledge is free. The poet dreams of a nation where knowledge would be free. Education should not be restricted to the upper class only, but everybody should be allowed to acquire knowledge. Not only that, the children should learn freely from the nature and the world around them. They should not be forced memorize some predetermined lessons. And this is Tagore's typical concept of education, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Through these lines, the poet emphasized the unity of not only of his countrymen but also of the entire world. He thinks that there should be no division among people based on their caste, creed, color, religion, or other baseless superstitions. In other words, prejudices and superstitions should not divide the people in groups and break their unity. The fourth line, where words come out from the depth of truth. Tagore wants the nation where people are truthful. They should not be superficial and words should not come out from the depth of words should come out from the depth of their hearts. And the next line, the tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. The poet wants everyone to work hard to reach their goal and in the long run to reach perfection. He thinks they should not be tired of working. People should not be lazy and ignoring their work and duty. And the next line, where the clear streams of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habits. The the poet compares reason or logical thinking to a clear stream, and in the next line compares dead habits or superstitious beliefs to a dreary desert. He wants the stream of reason not to lose its way into the desert of prejudices. In short, people's thought should be monitored by the rational thinking, not by superstition. Logic should rule over old baseless beliefs. Actually, here we can see the metaphor is used, that sand of dreary desert and stream of reason. So these two are used as metaphors, where the mind is led forward by into ever widening thoughts and action. The poet wishes his countrymen to be progressive and broad minded. He wants that their minds are led forward to ever widening thoughts and action by the Almighty God. In short, we should be open minded and do something unusual or extraordinary, overcoming the narrowness of mind. Into that heaven of freedom, my father led my country awake. In the final line of the poem, the poet addresses the God as Father. He asks him to awaken his country and countrymen into such a heaven of freedom where the above conditions meet. To make it clear, the poet prays to the Almighty, to my Father, to raise or lift or awake his country to such heights where freedom would be realized at its best and at the heaven of freedom. In turn, he is actually praying that God awakens his countrymen so that they come out from the darkness of ignorance, prejudices, then disunity, and all other evils. What is the message communicated by the poet through this poem? The poet's message is very clear. If all the people of the nation are not wise enough to lead a happy and peaceful life free from all evils, they cannot enjoy their freedom well. So, to the poet, only political freedom is not so important unless you are fearless, self dignified, knowledgeable, truthful, hardworking, and broad minded enough to enjoy it fully. This is the end of the lesson. Thank you for watching this video. I would like to wish you an amazing day. Thank you.